Today I'm going to show you a useful technique for adding a realistic shallow depth of field effect to your photos. We'll use a depth map to indicate which areas need to be blurred and by how much. This method gives you complete control over the effect, which makes it ideal for all kinds of photographs no matter the perspective or complexity of the background. In a previous tutorial I showed a technique to create a shallow depth of field effect that involved cutting out the subject, then applying a blur filter to the background. That process is perfect for images with a background that cleanly recedes into the distance, but sometimes the scene is littered with other objects that may need to be blurred by different amounts to represent their distance from the camera. This is where a depth map comes in handy. By defining the sections of the image in grayscale tones, you can blur some areas more than others. I'll be using this free photo by Cameron Stewart as an example. You can see the natural focus depth of the image, which keeps the subject in focus, then gradually blurs into the background. We'll create a depth map to exaggerate this. Choose the quick selection tool and draw a mask around the areas of the photo that are the closest to the camera that are in clear focus. This includes the main subject and the rocks she's standing on. Make sure you capture every detail around the outline. If you go too far, hold the Alt key while painting to remove the area from the selection. Add a new layer, then fill this selection with white using the Command or Control key on Windows and Backspace shortcut. Go to Select and Deselect to clear this selection. The landscape beyond the subject gradually recedes into the distance. Add a new layer and drag it below the selection of the main subject. Select the gradient tool, then make sure the gradient settings flow from black to white. Drag a gradient from the horizon down to the subject, ensuring that the area the farthest away is black and the area closest is white. The grayscale gradient in between will result in this area being blurred more and more as the tone gets darker. Add a new layer, then swap the foreground and background colours around. Change the gradient preset to white that fades to transparency. Drag a shorter gradient that lightens the top of the image so the depth map is darkest at the horizon. In this particular photograph, the tree branches towards the top of the image are close to the camera, so they shouldn't be blurred as part of the grayscale gradient. Since they're pretty clearly defined against the background, the channel selection method is the easiest way to select them. Turn off the visibility of the gradient layers so the tree branches are visible. Toggle through the red, green and blue channels within the channels panel to find one with the highest contrast. Drag this channel onto the new icon to make a copy. Use the Command L shortcut to open the levels. Then adjust the sliders to make the leaves black and the sky background pure white. Draw around the rest of the image with the polygonal lasso tool and fill the area with white. Hold the Command key and click on the thumbnail of this new channel to load a selection of the branches. Click the RGB channel again to activate it, then head back to the Layers panel. Bring back the visibility of the hidden layers, then add a new layer above them. Go to Select and Inverse to flip the selection, then fill this area with white, which will prevent any blur effects being added. Since these branches are in the foreground, they will still be in focus. Shift and click all the grayscale layers to select them, then press Command and G to create a group. Give it a quick name to keep things tidy. We need to create a snapshot of this grayscale image, so head over to the Channels panel, then duplicate any channel by dragging it over the new icon. Give it a recognisable name such as Depth Map. Activate the main RGB channel again, then head back to the Layers panel and hide the group of grayscale layers, leaving just the original photograph. Make a duplicate of the background photo layer to save a copy of the original, then go to Filter, Blur and Lens Blur. Change the depth map source setting to the channel we just created and name Depth Map. Then max out the radius to completely blur the out of focus areas. The depth map is currently applying maximum blurring to the white areas, so check the invert button so the blurring is applied to the darker tones instead. You can see the background is now completely out of focus, but the areas closer to the camera are blurred less, leaving the subject crisp and clear. Whilst keeping the background in focus might be better suited to a photograph with such beautiful scenery as this, the shallow depth of field effect can really enhance images where you want to draw attention to the main subject. The use of a depth map gives you complete control over which areas should be in focus for those complex images that might have items that are different depths within the scene. So if you enjoyed this tutorial or learnt any new tricks, a thumbs up to help spread the word would be really appreciated. Subscribe to the channel to stick around for more of my content, and be sure to join my mailing list at Spoon Graphics to get your hands on my free bundle of design resources. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.